What's up, Internet? I'm back with another explanation video. This particular track is a personal favorite of mine, mostly because of the record that I recently set on it. I want to go over a short history of the track, as well as probably the main reason why you guys clicked on this video, and how I did what I did. This level is from the Space Highway track, and as you get a first glimpse at it, yes, it looks a lot like Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. But the track is, once again, fairly easy. The main thing you need to worry about are the track hazards, as well as not falling off, as like in Mario Kart's Rainbow Road. It's a very long track compared to what some of the others are. This one is probably more upwards of 40 to 50 seconds, depending how fast you take it. This is a decent-ish run. There have been some shortcuts discovered, but I'll go over those in a bit. The preliminary records of this track were still impressive. They took very meticulously crafted lines to maximize however much speed they could get from the amount of track that they had. But the first shortcut that changed how the track was played was right here. By maintaining enough speed as well as boost, they could hover over that huge gap. And this is another somewhat smaller shortcut, but still it cut off a lot of time. But there was a speedrunner who had a much bigger shortcut in mind near the end. They continue with their meticulously crafted line, maintaining a lot of speed, doing the shortcut seemingly effortlessly, smooth landing, and here they're able to use the ramp in order to completely jump over these last two track sections. And that's where the record stood for 6 months. It was around this time that I was experimenting with a tech that had been known throughout the game for a little while, but has really not taken off at all because of its very unique nature. The wheelie. I had started to experiment with it, as well as start implementing it in runs, because I discovered that you can physically hold it up with your control stick or keyboard, whatever you're using. But I had started implementing these in my runs, and I ended up discovering that I could put it into this level, which led me to get this record. There we go. After a few hours of learning the line, as well as figuring out how to put in the wheelie, I had cut off a second and a half almost, and I decided to leave it there for whoever to beat next. And then about a month and a half later, he showed up. Obviously, he beat my record, but I'm just going to show it to you and let it speak for itself. To say I was mad was an understatement. I had put a ton of time into perfecting the tech that I've been doing and implementing it into this run, and it frankly was just thrown into the ground. However, with no effective anti cheat, there really wasn't anything anyone could do. I even started to lose motivation knowing that the possibility of my hard earned records were just one cheater away from just being rendered obsolete. It really was hard to find motivation to keep playing the game, but I decided to keep pushing forward and see how far I could get. Luckily, the community recognized that obviously these were cheated, and I kept finding comfortability there and decided to keep playing. After a few more months of grinding and playing the game and continuing to rack up records, I had eventually gotten every single record on the grid, and I decided to look back at some of the times, like the cheated one. I saw the potential to possibly beat it, so I decided to start logging in hours to try and do it. And eventually I did it. I was able to gain enough speed from the 4 separate wheelies I had executed in this run. It's a big relief. It was truly a truly a favorite run that I had ever done. I had to do everything perfectly. I had to do the line perfectly. I had to make sure I had enough speed. I had to make sure everything was perfect. And in the end, I ended up doing it. I ended up beating him. And to begin the breakdown, I wanted to start with this first wheelie. From my experience playing the game, I would call this one and any other run super flashy and really not needed, because the wheelie doesn't necessarily help too much when you're under speeds of 700. However, this was crucial in my line because it cut off some of the line, it straightened it out a little bit, and was able to make me gain some speed a little faster than what I would have normally been able to do on my drifting path. And with how this run was, I only beat the cheated time by about 1/10 of a second. So I needed every bit of shortened line and speed that I could get. This next wheelie was pretty standard. My only trouble was aiming my car down to land on the track as fast as possible while avoiding the spinning blades and landing in a wheelie. One quick note about this lip right here is I needed my car to be drifting pretty severely in order for me to be able to lift my car up and land in a wheelie. The wheelie here is also pretty standard. Unfortunately here, I couldn't use all of my boosts in order to gain more speed because I needed to save some of it in order to be able to fly the rest of the way across the level. Another thing my experience from playing this game would have said is that a wheelie this late in the level was extremely risky and also probably not needed, but that extra little bit of speed that I got there was just enough to put me ahead. I will have to admit that that launch from the ramp was very bad, and I think it almost cost me the run. Luckily, I had enough boost saved in order to make up the difference and make it the rest of the way. And that wraps up my little history lesson about this track as well as the record that I currently have on it. Thank you guys for watching, and please comment below and or let me know if there's another level that you want me to go over. And uh, yeah, have a great day, and thank you all for watching.